Good evening. I am here tonight to do a tutorial on how to install mods. I was requested on for how do I install mods. I usually don't play with mods. I do enjoy. There are quite a few mods I do enjoy, but I typically don't play with a lot of mods. But I do know how to install them, of course. And so I figured it would be good to do a video on how to install mods, how I install the mods, and how I set up my game if I'm starting a new game in 7 Days to Die. We'll also play a little bit, and I'll show you kind of how I get started, and we will end after I give you a few tips on how I personally get started. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to first download our mod. So the mod I was asked about is the one that allows us to pick up pictures and the bear rugs and allows us to sort of decorate our base a little bit better. Okay, so that one, the one I normally use is GNS Beautiful Base Mod, and I download that from Nexus Mods. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our browser, and we're going to go to Nexus Mods, and see, it sees me logged in. My account is a free account. I don't have premium. So it sees my game. The game I have saved as a favorite is 7 Days to Die. So I can just click on that, and it brings me to the 7 Days to Die mods. To add the game as your favorite, you click on the plus sign, and they have a ton of games in here. But we are looking for 7 Days to Die. Okay, so we're in our 7 Days to Die downloads, and the mod I'm looking for is Beautiful Bases. So I already have searched it. GNS Beautiful Base Mod. This is the one I like. I've used it before. This one is for version 3.0. We see right here, version 3.0. Right. We're on 3.1, but it should be fine. We shouldn't run into any problems with it, being that it's only the .1 version away. Okay, so I have a free account. I'm going to do the manual download, and we're going to do slow. Okay, it gives a delay because my account's free, and we already downloaded it. So here it is right here. So we see that this is the folder the mod is in. If we double click on this folder, we can see our mod. This is the mod. This is the folder the mod's in. Okay. So we need to move this mod into our install, where our game is installed. The easiest way to find out where your game is installed is if we open up Steam. So we just bring up in Windows, we just bring up the task manager the task bar, and double click on the Steam icon. And it brings us right into Steam, where we go into library. And this is all the games on your Steam. Right click on 7 Days to Die and go to properties. Okay, in properties, we can go to installed files and browse. Okay, so here's where our 7 Days to Die is installed. I'm going to move it over here just so I can see it better. And now I'm done with Steam. So I'm just going to close this out and close out Steam. So again, here's our mod. So now that we close everything, we're back to this is our mod. This is our 7 Days to Die. So if we open up our mods folder, see, I've already installed it because I prepared for this video and I installed it to make sure that everything was going to go well. And then you would just drag this folder in here. Now, you're going to want to replace the destination, because if you have an older version, like if you had this when you played 2.0, but now you want to upgrade it because you're running into errors, you're going to want to download the 3.0 version, and so you just replace the files. Okay, so now we have Beautiful Bases 3.0 installed on our base game. So we would do this for any other mod we want to do. Like if we wanted to have the bike stands up, because I don't like when my bike falls down. We can just search for like bike. There should be a mod for the bike to stay standing. Now I don't see it, but I do know there is one. I'd have to go find it, but you get the point. We find the mod we want. We make sure it's for 3.0 or higher. And this one's for 3.0.0.1, right? And you would just download it, go to where the mod is, and drag it over in your 7 Days to Die folder. That installs your mod, okay? So if you got any questions, any tips, put them down below. I will answer them the best I can. Now we're going to go into setting up a new game of 7 Days to Die. All right, so the game's open. We're going to play the game. Okay, and we're going to start a new game. So we're going to go up to New Game. We have to name it. New Game. All right, so there is a few preset settings. Okay, so our difficulty, right? So we can set, here's my series, the one I been using, but you can go in here and there is a bunch of different settings, but we're going to set up our own setup here. So we're going to go into sandbox box options. Okay, so the player traits, this is your traits. So this would be your bonus, and this would be like 200% of your range damage. So let's say 100% is the base. You're going to do twice the amount you would normally do. Melee damage, same thing, but not ranged. Block damage is the amount of damage you do to blocks, to dirt blocks, cobblestone blocks. So again, 100% is base. You can jack this up if you want to be able to destroy your blocks easier. But that's what that's. Terrain is how much you deal to dirt, like digging. Okay. Headshots is the amount of damage you do if you want to do more damage for headshots. And this would be for PvP, right? No, sorry. This is the amount of damage you receive from enemies falling, all the any storm damage, all the damage, right? So we're not going to go over all the settings because most of them are self-explanatory. A few ones we want to go up is skill gain. This is how many, when you go up a level, if you want to gain a skill every level. Okay, so, and this one is how many skill points you gain for each level. So if you want to gain, I don't know, like 7 skill points per level you go up, you can set that here. Okay, this would be your drop on death. So when you die, if you want to be able to, if you want to drop stuff, you don't want to drop stuff, backpack or tool belt. The tool belt is the tools that you can scroll through at the bottom of your screen. Okay. What else do we have here? Entities. This would be your this is the same thing we just went through, but this is for zombies. Okay. One thing you might want to look at is entity health bars. This would to turn the health bars on at the top of the screen. They go right underneath your compass. And show entity damage. This would be floating text on when you hit something. Floating text come from them depending on how much damage you do. It also, when you receive damage, you'll also see the numbers floating. This is your this is to allow which tier level of equipment and weapons you find. So if you set this to Tech 0, you wouldn't be able to progress past stone weapons, pipe weapons. So a stone axe would be the best. A tier 6 stone axe would be the best you'd ever be able to get. Workstations in the wild is when you come across a workstation, is it working or not? Okay. This stuff is all pretty self-explanatory. Again, very self-explanatory. Repair method. This would be if you want your combined station to repair, or if you want to be able to repair it yourself using like a repair kit or stone for the stone axe, and you can set that here. Trader, you can set your trader hours, or you can set your trader protection. So this, if you want your traders, you'd not be able to loot your traders and your traders to not be able to take damage on their fence, things of that nature, because zombies do get in them if you turn this off. But you can't kill the trader, remember that. That's how you turn that on and off. Buy limit, trader buy limit, this is how many stacks of one item they'll buy. Tasks, this would be your how many quests per tier. So when you are done tier 1, you get your bicycle. So how many quests do you want to complete before you're done your tier? And I normally set this at 5 or 6. 10 I find is too many quests per day. If you're playing with a lot of people, you can get, like, if you guys are actually going to play together, you can get through 4 very quickly, because everybody has one quest. You go as a party, you're all doing your quest. You can get through 4 very quickly. So if you're playing by yourself, 4 is fine. If you're playing with a bunch of people, you might want to jack that up. These here are pretty fun. The big heads, I like the big heads, but I don't really play a whole lot with them. Confetti kills, all fun things to play with. So anyway, when you get the settings the way you like to play them, you might want to set a new one. New game, and we're going to say this is for video purposes. Alright, and we're going to save. Okay, so now we see, if we go back, our group is user, and our preset is for new game. Okay, and we're going to start this game. So it's going to take a bit to start the new game. I like the new splash screens that they have been setting up. When it was always the same splash screen, it was getting kind of boring. I do like the changes splash screens. Alright, so we get to spawn at a random location. So we're going to spawn in. And here we are in our new world. Okay, so the first thing we will need to do, if you look up in the top corner, is open the challenge window by pressing Y. So you press Y. Your first thing is welcome to the challenge window. in these challenges, so you're going to have to redeem this either clicking here or pressing W. And then it's going to give you some challenges to do. So here our first one is going to be to gather plant fibers, gather wood, and some small stones. Okay, so it does mark them for you. Okay, so you can just punch these. You also want to loot things like bird nests because you're going to need feathers for later on. And early in this game, you want to pretty much collect whatever you can get your hands on. Because even though it's not the most useful, it definitely is useful. Plant fibers are pretty easy to get. So now we're looking for stone. Okay, so we're looking for, they'll be marked with the yellow hand. See, there, the yellow building thing. There we go. We need one more, do we? Right here. All right, and so we're just going to get through these as quickly as possible. Okay, so now we have our stone axe. And our next one is to harvest wood and stones. So wood, we get from, obviously from tree. So I got ahead of myself. So when we crafted this, it came into our inventory here. I held down shift and clicked on it, and that put it down in my tool belt. So this is the tool belt I was talking about. Okay. So now our next quest, if you look up in the top left-hand corner, is to harvest wood and stone. So we get some wood here from using our axe on the tree. We can go and we can use our axe on like these, and they would give us the same thing. Or we can just go to a tree. Okay, so and now we need some stone. So the stone, again, we can go to these little stones, hit it with our axe, and see it gave us 1 credit, right? So now we're just going to, see, we already collect our stone. So our next challenge is to make the primal outfit. So we'll craft that. And then it's to wear the primal outfit. So now we just click on it here. See, when we crafted it, it came in our inventory, and we just press to wear. Again, so here we go. Next is to craft a wooden club. And we can see here that it says craft a wooden club because we got the little trophy. So this tells us it's a challenge that we're tracking. So that's why it's telling us, that's why it's giving us this gold trophy, because we're currently tracking that challenge. Okay, so if we were to track another challenge, like track the bow, and then we went into crafting, see, now the bow has the trophy and the club doesn't. Okay, so but we do know we have to craft the club, so we're going to craft the club. And again, it came into our inventory, we hold down shift, and we put it down here. Now, I like to range, so my weapons and tools are first. My food, drink, and medicine are last. Okay, that's the way I like to set it up, but whatever is comfortable for you. So our next challenge is to make the primitive bow. We craft our bow. Again, we want it to come down. So shift and click on it, brings it down, and craft stone arrows. That's what we need the feathers for, right? So you see here it needed feathers. So I got those feathers from the nest. So the easiest way to get feathers, either from nests, or if you kill a bird, you can skin it if you have the stone axe or a knife. Okay, so we're going to craft, and I'm going to craft as many arrows as I can because it's the best weapon I have right now. Okay, and then our final challenge is to open, so press tab, hold tab, and the radial menu. So if you hold tab down, you get a radial menu, and from there you can select challenges. Okay, see, and now we're done. All of our challenges. So we're just going to click on it and hit W. And we're just going to keep on hitting W because we're done them all. And that will give us our Basic survival is now complete. See, and that unlocks all the other challenges, and gives us this. You're now a capable. You now proved yourself capable with so much potential, right? So now we have a quest to go see the trader. So that's our next quest, is to go see the trader. Now, but before we go see the trader, we have to read it. See, the Duke left a note to read. So if we click on our note and we use it, we can read it, and that gives us a little bit of XP. Okay, and now before we go off to our trader, we have some talent points. For completing those opening quests, we get 4 talent points. Now, you can basically spend these however you want to spend them, but you want to spec in a way that makes sense for you. Depending on what kind of weapon you're going to use or how you're going to play, you may want to spec differently. Now, I'm not going to go through every spec, but how I normally start is I go into the agility tree, and the first thing I want is parkour. This will allow you to jump 2 blocks. If you get level 2 stuntman, you can jump 2 blocks high as opposed to 1 block high as you start. And that is extremely helpful. And so to get that, I need to get into 4 points. And now we can see that parkour is unlocked. And the second one is unlocked. So I can spend that. I just don't have the talent point, right? Because it costs me 3 points, because you start with 1. It cost me 3 points to get down to inept. And then 1 point for the first point in parkour, and the second one is the one that allows me to jump a meter higher. Okay, so my next level up, that's where I'm going to spend on. What I normally do is I normally wait until I find a weapon, and then that will tell me what path I'm going to start with. So I like to use the spear, as we know from my last video. The spear is what I like to use as a starter weapon. I like the reach, and I like that it doesn't use a lot of stamina. But you can, however you want to play. This game, this one thing that's great about this game is you can play this game any way you want to play this game. You could be a builder, you can be a scavenger, you can play it any way you want. But that's the way I set myself up. So you may be different. Somebody else that you talk to may say, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Oh. And I think I'm going to show them right here that oh, that was close. So I have a concussion. That's a great way to start off this game. But that's fine. We will survive. We just got to make it to the trader. But yeah, so that's how I start my game. Like I said, somebody else might be that I have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's fine. You know, I'm not saying this is the proper way to play the game. I'm saying this is the way I start my games. And you know, it gives you a hint on how you might want to start yours. But it's completely up to you. Like I said, I scavenge everything. And now when I set up my base, my first base, now I normally set up somewhere to live, but it's not always where I fight my horde from. I used to love building in this game, and I still do. I still love building, but I don't like building early in the game when I don't have any resources at all. So what I do is I normally take over a POI. If you watch my stream, you see that I took over the very first mission I did for that POI. I took that POI over as my base. But I suggest, if you're new to the game, set up somewhere close to your trader, It's where you're going to get your missions because you want to do the trader missions at least the first tier and get your bike for free. He'll also give you enough supplies to start out with. You also want to do your challenges because when you finish a tier of challenges, the whole level, the trader will also give you a reward. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. What other assistance can I give you? Have fun with it. I mean, this game is a barrel of fun. I am not the best player, so like I say, next person down the road might say, well, that's not right. But I do have fun with this game, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun with it too. Remember, practice doesn't always make perfect, but just make sure you're having fun. I'm going to sign off. I hope you guys find this informative, and let me know what you guys want to see next. If you guys want a tutorial on anything else that I do, I mean,
morning. If you try to say
you guys can ask whatever you guys need to do. Maybe you don't know something, you want to see if I can help. If not, maybe somebody in my channel can help you. But have a good night, guys, and talk to you in the next one.